So in this game, there's a character named Van Slater, and I either wanted to be Van Slater in high school or I wanted to fuck him.
Oh. We're getting real honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, disagree with me. Disagree with me.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like, he's cool. Like, look, okay, I'm coming to this particular thing from a slightly different perspective. I am very Brennan Lee Mulligan coded in that I think it's really cool to try really hard. You know what I mean? Like, I think doing your best is cool.
Yeah.
And Van Slater's a little bit like, whatever. But then there's the other side of him where he also is good at stuff and tries really hard and cares. So there's this like toss up for me of like, you have to get to know him.
Yeah, man. Well, it's just he's a Renaissance man. He's a man of many interests, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
If you couldn't tell, we're talking about the game Mixtape. This is our first foray, our first experience having a game as our main topic.
Yeah.
But if you've played it or if you know anything about it, you kind of understand why this would be the case, because it's a very cinematic experience. And I use that term with love and respect, and also a little bit of a little bit of caution.
Yeah.
Just because. So
if you were thinking video game, like taper your expectations a little bit, right?
And it is a video game. It is a video game.
Yes.
I'm just let's start there. It's a fucking video game. Is it the most interactive experience ever? No. But you know what? Video games and movies contain multitudes, my guy.
That's true.
The larger conversation around this game has been so fucking annoying.
I have not been a part of literally any of that. The morning, like before we hopped on to record, I looked up if people liked it and found that it was quite divisive, which is interesting. Now, I guess I say that. I was going to say it's interesting because I thought it was quite good. I thought this was a very interesting. I thought they did a lot of cool things visually.
Yeah.
I thought the actual mixtape was great. Like all that kind of stuff. But I guess I had the advantage of knowing that it wasn't quite like, as you say, interactive in that way, where there was like all the segments were very like mini game-esque for the most part. So I think I had an advantage. I had a one-up on a lot of people in that way, is that I knew what I was getting into.
I mean, the other piece of this is not their first. This studio, not their first game. Their first game, very similar in terms of like.
Do you know the name of it?
I can't remember it sitting here now. I could find it, but yeah, I mean, just to kick it off, like just to talk about like our experience with it. So I suggested we do this because. I had heard about it through, my go-to video gaming pod is the Besties, with formerly Justin McElroy. He has since left the podcast. Oh no! But Griffin McElroy, Chris Plant, and Russ Frustrick, all former Polygon folk. Their Game of the Year podcast, The Besties, is one of my favorites. And they talked about Mixtape, and it made me really want to fucking play it.
Did they liked it, I assume?
They liked it quite a bit. I mean, they mentioned, I mean, it is not a perfect experience, but at the same time, like, man, so I played it and I just like really, really fell in love with a lot about it. And I thought it would be a really interesting, a good thing to talk about here on the pod on Silver Screen Psyche, where we're talking about movies. Where this game is so movie coded, and it is so like it is not the most mechanically dense game of all time, but it is very connected to the world of cinema. But the interaction, in my opinion, the interaction that it does have, like, really like can deepen the storytelling at times in a way that I think is really interesting. So yeah, like outside of me mentioning it, had you even heard about it before?
I hadn't seen a single image. I didn't know it existed. This was not. I'm not the biggest video game guy. I'm not really tapped into that, right? Like, I remember when Baldur's Gate 3 came out and people were talking about it. I was like, I have not a singular clue what this game is.
I haven't even heard of one or two.
Yeah, like I play like 3 video games a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then maybe some Call of Duty on the side because I just want to like sit down and play for 30 minutes and then I'm done.
Yeah.
So I'm not attuned to that kind of stuff. It is similar to my like relationship with music in general. The past few years, I've been much better about like listening with intent and like caring about music way more. But I had no idea. This is completely flew under my radar. It's also not the type of game I typically enjoy. The like, we're going to plop you in a room and you're going to go interact with a million items and get a tiny story, and then you'll trigger a thing that happens and you'll get a piece of the story. Like, those are not my typical game of choice, right?
Yeah.
This was very, and I haven't finished this game. I'm playing it with Breck, like she's playing it and I'm watching, is Life is Strange. It's very Life is Strange coded.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This flew under my radar, but I enjoyed it. It's good. I was curious on your feelings on this, and this is dumb to talk about a video game this way, but do you think this works as a movie?
Like, if you took all the mechanics out of it
and just played it as a movie, like put this into live action and turn it into a movie or like a 6-part miniseries or something, 4-part miniseries, does it work the same? Because that's the conversation, right? That's the divisiveness. Is critics are like, the story's great, it's a great coming of age piece of media, and then fans are like, it's not even a video game. Is that because I like experiencing it, you're kind of just like, oh, this will be a movie in 5 years, right? Like, somebody's going to see this and make a coming of age movie in 5 years out of this story. Do you think that works? Do you think that's something that will happen?
I am hesitant to say it's something that would happen just because, like, there's no Life is Strange movie. Like,
oh, that got announced. That's happening.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a show happening. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Of course I say that. There are other games like this that haven't been turned into movies. That being said, I do think this is a particularly well-written example. Like, I think the thing that is the absolute best about this game is the writing, in a way that is like not the case with the vast majority of games. Like, usually, like, I mean, like, look, they're games, so you want it to be mechanically interesting. Often, like, the mechanics of the game often take priority over the writing, to the writing's detriment 99 times out of 100. 999,999 times out of a million. This game, I think, is particularly well written. That being said, like, the pacing, I think, would be... here's the thing. I think the pacing works really well for this game, depending on, like, what you're looking for in terms of the
depending
pacing.
on how you play it, right? Like, depending on how much time you're spending... Thinking specifically of, like, the big emotional... down, like the emotional low of the story with the characters, like that point you can really overstay your welcome, where you're just like, I need to get to the next part of the story because I'm feeling that I've just sat here for too long. So depending on how you play, and that's part of why I asked that question, is like, because again, that's part of the stuff that in video games I don't love. Like, everyone tells you in like The Last of Us, you have to read every single note you find. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm really just not going to do that. And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of games like this, where it's like, if you are breezing through it at what feels like a natural pace, but it's up to you to decide that. So it becomes this interesting alchemy you have to find. And that's part of exactly what you're saying, of like the mechanics and the fact that it's a video game versus the fact that it's a story. yeah, anyway, that's interesting pacing question there.
Yeah, I think for me, so I played it twice. So I played it the first time I played it, and when I played it the first time, I went through and did every optional thing I possibly could. So anytime there was a prompt to pick up a thing and talk about it, I did every single one.
Yeah.
The second time I played through it, I did not do that. Neither of them was a worse experience.
Yeah.
They were just like, I wanted to prioritize just kind of like getting through the story one more time. Just like, I did this, on Thursday night and Friday night. And maybe yesterday, I can't remember. No, I think it was Thursday and Friday. That way, I can just kind of get through it one more time to make sure I had the story was like fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
But I don't. So the game, I think, has optionality in terms of like, look, if you're a 100%er, I need to do literally everything. If there's a prompt, I need to do it, and that hinders the pace for you. I could see that being a mild annoyance.
Yeah.
That being said, like, all of that stuff is like super optional. What I would do in those scenarios where like you're in Cass's bedroom and there's like her trophies and there's like a thing that you can go and talk about her trophies, I would skip usually all the stuff that was like something sitting on her bed or something sitting on her nightstand and just do the ones where I'm talking directly to them. So if there's a prompt above them, I would talk to them, because usually those stories were like fun or funny or weird.
Yeah.
Or like, I really liked all of that stuff, and I would just kind of skip over, or like in my second playthrough I would skip over that stuff. And I felt like the pace was significantly faster because of that. That being said, like, even then, I didn't think the pace needed to be fast. Because usually in those scenarios, in the story, you're
supposed to be killing time. Yeah.
You're supposed to be killing time. Yeah, exactly. Like, you're in Cass's bedroom, or you're in, Van's bedroom. Like, you just, like, wasting time until the next thing needs to happen. But you get such a clearer picture of like who these people are, for better and worse. And I mean for better and worse in a good way, because they're insufferable teenagers.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that when we talk about how good the writing is, like I just think it really nails teenager, like this kind of teenager. Like obviously they don't talk like real people, but like neither do teenagers. Like neither do teenage. Like I was, and I think this is another reason why this speaks to me, is like I was this insufferable teenager. Like I was this hipster fucking like. So we'll get into this in the B segment, but I went through some music that I listened to in high school. Like I and boy, like don't get me wrong, all of that music fucks very hard, but it's all so hipster, like it's all so indie underground cool guy. Because like I said, man, I just wanted to be Van Slater, man. I just wanted to be the cool wizard dude, like
the mellow man who just knows everything, kind of.
Yeah,
like.
Man. And I definitely wasn't that dude. But anyway, so yeah, the pacing I think works really well for me, and there's optionality in terms of how you want to play it in order to increase the pace or slow the pace down at times.
Yeah. No, I think that's all very true. And I mean, you say the same about even games like The Last of Us Part 2, where there's like, it's like a 22-hour something game, 24-hour game. Yeah. And there's a million slips of paper you can read, or you can just like run and gun it and play it, Yeah, so I think that's very true. In terms of my like viewing it as a movie, it's because, okay, I should say this. It's like this movie strikes me as Wes Anderson does John Hughes, but as a music video. In like in a loose way, where it's like my favorite sequences are, when they're driving in the car and they're listening to music and you can see like the rear projection screens, like you can see the screen, the build, like they're honest. Like that's my favorite. So when she's like floating backwards in black and white and stuff, is like, that's the best sequence in the game to me.
That's the best sequence in the game.
That is the one where I was like, oh, this is devastating and beautiful and so weird. Where it's like, I wonder if that works in a movie.
It won't work in live action. I don't think this would work in live action.
Oh, yeah. I think most adaptations should just be animated anyway. You know what I mean? We've been doing a lot of remakes of animated stuff into live action. I think we need to flip that metric. Yeah. Like, for example, how has there never been an animated Power Rangers movie? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Right. And that's the perfect thing, those two things combine, but we keep going, well, let's just make it for adults. It's like, no, just make it animated where it would be like crazy and cool. Do Spider-Verse, but with Power Rangers. So I agree with you there. Like it doesn't, but I also think like if that was a music video, it'd be the coolest music video that year where it's just like person sees devastating thing happen and they listen to music and float backwards and time is stopped and whatever they interact with comes back to life, but wrong. Great music video. And then, I would love that music video. And
when you hit stuff, it plays little sounds.
That like,
in key with the song. Like, oh, I loved it so much.
That's a really cool idea. And then all the skating stuff I really liked. Like this game looks weird in the best possible way.
I love the look.
Yeah, it has like. It's not trying to be photoreal, but it's really extending a lot of what it's doing. Like it's really, what is the word I'm looking for? Heightened version of cartoon. I don't know. Whatever I'm trying to say. I really like the look, but those skating sequences where they're like going down the hill and all the light, looks really good. Game is cool. Yeah. It is also a movie, but we've talked about that to death, I think. It's either going to be for you or not. Do you think there's a version where you put a disclaimer above it where it's like, this is a video game, but it feels like an experience? So you put something where, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of a movie that tries to set its tone with some level of text.
I mean...
Is there a version of that helps fans? Because critics love this, at least seemingly. Yeah, I don't know. Because again, I had that warning and it didn't affect me, but you didn't have. Well, maybe you did have that warning because you listened to that.
I knew what I was getting myself into. Look, I think the fact that this game looks this is the thing that I think is confusing and funny is the fact that it's not like it was a secret that this game is not super. I don't think it's hidden that this game is not exactly the most mechanically dense.
Yeah.
Because there were trailers, there were gameplay trailers, there, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think the developers were trying to hide what this game was or anything like that. And it has a very similar visual style to a game like Life is Strange.
Yes.
Which is even less in terms of, look, that's more of Life is Strange is almost like a point and click adventure, basically. But the mechanic is the decisions, is the choices.
Yeah.
That you're making.
This doesn't have that.
No. But what it does have, it does have more mechanics than that game does. It's got the mini games and that kind of thing. There's more going on from that perspective. It's also a much shorter experience, and it's also $20.
Yeah.
I actually don't know how expensive Life is Strange is, but
Life is Strange, depending on the version, you get 40 or 50 still.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
And that game came out how long ago?
Yeah, long time.
12 years maybe, something maybe 8. I don't know. I actually have no clue. I don't know. I think people have a weird, hard feelings about this game in a way that doesn't make sense to me, because there are other games that are very similar to it that I don't feel got this level of frustration.
Was this studio's first game pretty acclaimed at all, or was it kind of?
Let me.
Because I didn't do any research on that.
Their
stuff.
other game is well reviewed.
Yeah, so maybe there was some expectation thing there. Maybe that game has 15% more video game mechanicness to it. And this one they wanted to peel back. I don't know. I guess I guess it comes into what do you want from a video game? What do you want, a big cinematic experience, or do you? Because this was the debate, right? With Baldur's Gate 3 is one I've already mentioned, but that one game of the year that year, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's so much." Spider-Man sucks in comparison, but look at the gameplay. And then you see Spider-Man and you're doing this like crazy combat against 40 people, but you never touch the ground. And then you cut over to Baldur's Gate and you're like turn-based combat, point and click. And so if you look at it as just that, yeah, one of them seems better in a jangling keys kind of way. Yeah. So is that what people want? Do people want jangling keys, or do they want story and crazy mechanics where you can do anything? Like, I guess that maybe comes down to that. I don't know. I was surprised to see that it had a like 6.9 on IMDb or something. But then if you look at it critically, people love it. Trying to think what the movie comparison to that would be. There's a lot, but anyway.
There's a billion of those.
Yeah, but usually it's flipped. Usually fans like the thing, and then the critics, like, that's the more famous version of that, where the critics are like, this isn't that good, and fans are like, this is great. Anyway.
They have their other game is The Artful Escape that came out in 2021. It seems to be more of a platformer kind of thing than this one is. So it seems there might be more. It might be more mechanically dense than this one, but that one seems more like visual and like less story driven. So it's like, okay, maybe it's a slightly, but again, I don't know, man. I think people are being so weird about this fucking game.
Maybe there's
especially
something
since it costs $20, man.
Yeah.
Like if this game costs $60 and it's this short of an experience and the mechanics are this shallow, okay, then I could see being annoyed by it, but it's not any of those things. So I don't know, man.
And who knows? Maybe there's something to the like I don't know how many other like hangout video games there are, but this is very much like a hangout story, coming of age thing. And are coming of age stories out of vogue at the moment? Am I crazy?
I don't know.
Like, they definitely still come out, but I'm trying to think of the last one that was like crazy big. Like, remember when Juno would come out and was just this like crazy cultural milestone? I'm trying to think of the last hangout movie that really did that for more than a weekend. Anyway, coming of age movies rock. They're really good. And then sometimes really bad, but that just depends.
From like a story perspective, I think that's the thing that we can spend a lot of time talking about, is like how well written I think this game is.
Yeah.
And like how like that I don't think is getting its fair shake in a way, because people are so focused on the game element of it. They're not giving the fact that it is so well written its proper due, you know?
Yeah. And I that is my feel. I mean, I think that of movies as well, right? Whenever somebody sees a great movie, they very rarely talk about the writing, even less so in video games, where it's like, oh, the writing is the thing. Everyone talks about the story in The Last of Us, but they don't equate that to the writing. They equate it to the story, this ethereal thing that exists. I like Mixtape because specifically the decisions made with like, I don't know, what is it, Jenny fucking Goodspeed.
Jenny fucking Goodspeed.
Right, where it's like you just have this weird random pebble in the mechanics of it, and it makes it really interesting, so that whenever Cassandra like lies to our protagonist and she catches her hanging out with this person after lying, you're like, oof, that's a gut punch. That is a gut punch. That kind of stuff is so small writing's hard, man. Like making me care that much about a moment, like that's crazy.
The other thing I've seen when people talk about the game is like, no teenager ever had this. Nobody had this teenage experience. It's like, yeah, dude, they're flying around.
Yeah,
like this is a fantasy world. Like, yes,
it's supposed to be a heightened life.
But at the same time, I've had experiences where I thought I had a close friend, and then they ditched me to hang out with somebody else, or like, and they were my close friend, but they didn't. Whatever. Like, I've had that exact experience. Like, I don't understand, like that that piece of it, I think, is incredibly well done. Where it's like, yes, they don't talk like real people, and yes, there's a fantasy element to it, but at the same time, the things that the game is talking about of, you know, that last summer after high school of, you know, the end of the school year, like, you don't know if you're ever going to see any of these people ever again, and yet they meant so much to you, and they still, like, there's like a nostalgia for a time that you had and didn't have, you know what I mean? Like, there's that I think it nails that melancholy of that time in your life, where it's like, these people are incredibly meaningful to me, and I want to spend the rest of my life around them, but I know I won't, and I know I can't.
Yeah, so interesting, because, like, I think there is that, and then I also think there's this, you know, for some of the characters, there is this, oh, it's all going to be fine. We're going to see each other all the time, right? Yeah. There's, like, the denial aspect, too.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why I'm blanking on her name. I have it pulled up. It is Stacy, the protagonist, Stacy. You're like, there's this moment, and I found this moment really poignant, and then in the game, and then you kind of find out as it progresses, my feelings on it changed in a good way, in a way that I think it wanted me to, right? Like, there's this part where they're ragging on her because she ruins their road trip that they have planned, and she has this moment, really small moment, where she's like, chasing my dreams here, guys, could you, right? And then you find out what her dream is exactly. I can't remember if that's before or after, but her dream is great. That's awesome. You want to go be a music supervisor? That's super cool. What's your plan? Oh, your plan is to accost someone like, that is such a, I have such hard times with people, you know, you and me are people who, like, we're making shorts and we're trying to experiment with ways to, like, indie market it, and we're trying to play the game, right? We're trying to play the game in our way, and, like, using new technologies to do it, such as YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, like, trying to find ways to, like, build up following so we can then put something out, as opposed to going and interning at a place until somebody happens to like us enough to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're still doing it in a real, valid way. And that's being proved over and over again. The Curry Barker thing has proved it, right?
Yeah.
I have a hard time with people who are like, I made a thing and it's going to be the biggest thing in the world, and everyone's going to see that immediately. I'm like, that's not what this is. That is a bit insulting to everybody who, like, spends so much time making something they know will maybe put them one step ahead, right? Like, you know, we put out a short more. We had that whole episode on it. Watch it if you haven't. It's very good. We were very proud of it. I don't think either of us thought we were going to put that out and then Hollywood was going to come a calling. No, we were just like, let's try this thing and see if it works. Okay, it worked, and it worked for us, and it's still doing pretty well. And, like, okay, what's the thing we can do that's creatively interesting us that will put us one more step ahead?
Yeah.
Right? So I have, like, this interesting journey with her as a character, wherein she's like, no, it'll all be fine. I know I'm ruining this thing, but I'll be in New York, and then we'll see each other all the time, and life will either wait or it won't wait. I don't know. But we're all going to be friends forever. And then you're watching her realize that that's kind of not the case, that she is also being the asshole in the situation.
Yeah.
However, then the other side of it, right, is Cassandra inviting Jenny fucking Goodspeed to their special place was one of the, I got so angry. Because it's like, that's that part when you get a group together that you love hanging, you have a core group of friends, and you're like, we're hanging out, and then somebody texts, hey, can I invite my buddy? And it's like an immediate, like, harshes the mellow, dude. Like, I'm not into it. This was supposed to be an us thing. I was really excited about this special reunion of some kind, and you invited your fucking buddy from down the street. Yeah. I don't want, this is weird now. That is like, and then that's when she realizes, oh, we're never going to see each other again. She's like, it's not like we're ever coming back here. And Stacy's like, oh no, it's really intricate, but small. It's really like, it's like all the little, what are they? The gears had to line up just right. And then you throw a pebble into it. And then you had to get that pebble out and fix it. And then they lined up and then you threw another pebble into it. Right. That's just really hard to do. And this kind of does it seamlessly in a way that makes you not think about it. Yeah. Anyway, it's my ramble on good character work.
You mentioned literally one of my favorite lines in the entire game, where she's like, just following my fucking dreams here. Like, she is, and they're both right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they're both right. Is like Cass needed this. Like she needed to be with her friends, like escaping her life, and she wanted her friends there. And she knew that this very well could be the last time they do this. And so she wanted to have a big, long experience that they could all have together. And then she invites Jenny fucking Goodspeed as she knew, and still made that choice because Cass is that rebellious. Like she is that, in this point in her life, she is this fed up and frustrated and, again, rebellious that even to her friends, she will make that choice that to if she feels slighted, she will respond in kind. And then that's what cuts Stacy that deep. It's incredibly well written. Well written. Yes, it's not the most realistic at times, but that shit is so realistic.
Yeah.
We've had those experiences as teenagers where you piss one of your friends off and then they do something to get back at you. They say the thing that they know will hurt you.
Here's the thing. Reality, I have it all around me. I have it every single day.
Yeah, baby.
I don't want perfect reality within my stories. I want emotional reality within my stories.
Yeah.
Right? Emotionally so relatable. Emotionally so impactful. I don't know. There are times in your life where you feel like you're flying back to your house and like running on the thing with your buddy. Like that is something we can relate to if you can suspend your disbelief for 2 seconds. And like, again, I think there's like a symptom of like earnestness that gets so lost on people. And lost on these characters, frankly. Like these characters are not earnest people for a lot of this story. They like can't be genuinely emotionally authentic with one another, because even Slater's lying to her. He's like, you're not going on this thing, but we invited Jenny Goodspeed just to replace you immediately on this road trip.
Yeah.
And you're like, oof, that hurts from that guy, right, who's your best friend.
Yeah.
I don't know. One thing I do wish story-wise is I wish we got a little bit more of Stacy's home life. Like now I understand like that part of the story is dedicated to Cassandra and her journey, but they're like the only interaction we get with her dad is like, did you call your sister in New York to pick you up? She's like, don't pressure me. He's like, sorry, sweetie. And then that's it. Right.
Yeah.
I would be very curious to know what that relationship is, what, that kind of stuff.
I think that there's like, we kind of have like kind of the 3 different versions of it where like Slater's mom is like, do you guys want a margarita? Like,
Amy Poehler from Mean Girls. Like,
yes, is the overly chill mom.
Yeah.
And then Cassandra's parents are the overbearing monsters. And then Stacy's parents are probably somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little absent but loving and like
didn't have much to rebel against, but also like, gave her the space to like, because even then, like, that they don't want her to like go out and drink and stuff because, man, 20 minutes minimum, you got to wait. Cause like, anything less, you'll get your bag checked, like that kind of thing. It's like, that they're like paying attention. But at the same time, we don't even see their face outside of the photos.
Yeah, and that is an interesting idea, too, of like a character who doesn't have a ton to rebel against, but is still finding their version of that, right? It's like, as an adult, if you're like, I'm going through something, totally fine. I kind of don't like when people say that about kids, where it's like, I don't know, a kid doesn't have to be going through a hard time to be experimenting with life. You know what I mean? To like, am I a punk? Like, is this what I'm into?
Right.
They don't have to be sad or troubled to be going through that. Of course, kids can be going through stuff. Being a kid is a very hard thing in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, just because a kid is like, I'm changing up the look doesn't mean they're going through something. I think that's a very silly idea. And I think this tackles it in a really nice way where like Cassandra's parents are like, she's rebelling. She must be going through something. And it's like, she is. It's you two dummies. You two are the ones that are causing this. And then you have Slater who's like, this guy, but he's not really going through anything. He just authentically knows who he is. And then you have Stacy, who's the other end of that, who has nothing to really rebel against, but wants to figure out who she is as herself versus her sister, right?
Yeah.
So she kind of becomes outwardly who her sister was behind closed doors. And I think that's an interesting like dynamic for that character. Again, good writing. It's shocking that this game is not more well regarded by fans.
Dude, you're telling me. Yeah, I think the other piece of it is I think it does really again when we talk about the mechanics. There are a few things in the game that I think are really fascinating from a storytelling perspective because you're kind of like telling your own story with how you play it. There's two specific examples I can think of. It's in the very beginning of the game with the tongues.
Yeah.
Where you have these two characters are kissing. It's Stacy's first kiss. And you play as you're essentially operating her tongue and the guy she's kissing's tongue, and they're like flopping around. But because you have control of these two elements, you can kind of show which one is more interested than the other.
Yeah.
Like you can play each version of that, and the one that I think is actually really cool is later in the game. Or just a few minutes later when you are playing as Van and Stacy in the mall taking the photos together, you can kind of like lean one person more into the other. Like you can like show who is more interested, who is more into this. Like, cause there's a whole like throuple element here that I think is really fascinating and really like super under the radar, not the point. But at the same time, like it's there just a little bit. Like there's just enough of breadcrumbs here to be like, is there like, are they just close friends? Is there an attraction here?
Yeah,
they're teenagers. There probably is some of that. At the same time, you don't know if that attraction was ever physicalized in any way, shape, or form. And that is so good and so well written. But that moment of them in the mall, you can kind of like theory craft on who is more interested in the other. Like, is Van a little bit more interested in Stacy? Like, would he make a move if he felt like that attraction was reciprocated? Like that kind of thing. Like, I think that is such a fascinating element, and there aren't a ton that's not the point of the game, and there aren't a ton of opportunities for that thing, but where there are, I think they're really cool. And I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it's really cool.
Yeah, all of the stuff with the camera I do think is interesting, because even if you're like, you can play it emotionally where Stacy is, right? When she has the camera, it's like, I'm thinking of the dino sequence.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you're mad at one of those characters, you're kind of naturally going to be taking more photos of the other one, right? Yeah. And I don't know, I think that's like a cool, subtle game mechanic. And I wonder what, like, you play like Telltale Batman, right? And at the end of each episode, they give you the stats, right? I wonder if there's any sort of metric they have had in any of their like beta testing stuff of like, they took more photos of Van than Cassandra in that sequence. Like everyone did, right? I wonder if something like that happened and what that says. I don't know, but I agree. I think it's like The Last of Us. The Last of Us is the really overt version of this, where it's like when you switch to playing as Ellie for the first time, the game does not have to tell you to play stealthy. You just do it. Yeah. You just, all of a sudden, you're using the bow way more than you do as Joel. You are not trying to get into a fight because the whole game you are playing as I must protect Ellie. And then when you are playing Ellie, you are still feeling I must protect Ellie. Yeah. It's a genius mechanic in that game that I think is super underrated when people talk about the great things about that game is that moment when you first play as her. This is the same thing, but in a way more like only emotional way. Only like, if you're a guy who just like, their tongues are going, then that's that. But if you're emotionally in with the game, you can do something really fun and cool there where you're like, this is, this is bad for both of them. Neither of them like, or whatever, right? you can do interesting things with it. You know, the sequence where you're like hitting the baseballs, or the sequence when you're like destroying stuff out at the pond.
Yeah.
You can play, or when she's skating and blowing stuff up, you can just not blow stuff up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which that's another one of my favorite sequences in the game, like visually. I think is really fun.
Yeah.
Let's cut through them all.
I think this game looks incredible.
Yeah.
I love all the decisions they made visually. I mean, like it's got the Spider-Verse coded, like all the characters are animated on 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
I think that's the nomenclature. I could be getting that slightly wrong.
It's like frame stopping, or there's some like specific, but the 1s and 2s is how they talk about the animation. Yeah.
And just like the character design, I really also love. Man, I wish Polaroids really did look that cool when you took, like I don't know who their photographer friend is who has the best Polaroid camera ever, but I need to hire that motherfucker because those are really cool. But I love all of the like photos and stuff, but like they're not photos, they're drawings, but like they're gorgeous. I really love what this game is doing visually. I especially love in those moments where it's like, you know, she's explaining the compact disc and it cuts to live action video of computers and things. And Van is talking about making a 8-minute synth odyssey, and they're like floating through, old computer, graphics and things like that, and like oceans. And I just love all of that shit. All of those decisions are so fun and cool. And I really love what this game does visually. Like I'm not like as into the art design in a game like Life is Strange. I think this game takes that idea and just pushes it right up a little bit further, takes it that one next step really
it pushes it into the, it almost more surreal, where it's like Life is Strange is attempting to be photoreal but knowing it can't be. Knowing it just won't ever be. So it makes it a little bit stylized, but they still look like normal people you might see if the photo was a little blurry, right? And in this, it's not. They're like, no, we're doing something. There is a level of artistic intent to how the people look. They don't look like normal people. They're really exaggerated in ways, Yeah. And that's a genuinely wonderful decision, because now, you know what? This game, not going to age visually because it's doing something specific. Yeah, man. It's going to look good in 20 years when you go back and play it, because it's going to be like reading a comic book from that time where you're like, oh, this was the art style of it. Yeah, it's cool. I like that. Yeah. Good game. People stop being weird about it.
The other thing is, I think the mixtape, the music.
Yeah.
So good.
Thanks.
Absolutely fucking nailed the song choices. Boy, howdy, this game needed that shit to be good, and they fucking nailed it.
Well, it's opinion. Like when we talk about with Sinners, right, where you have this like moment where this character is supposed to be this generational magical voice in music, and if you don't nail that, the movie doesn't work. And then when you nail it, you're like, oh, it's gonna work, boys. This guy can sing. Yeah. With like Miles Caton in that movie, in that sequence. Yeah. So this is the same thing, right? You're listening to the music and you're like, I kind of just want to put this on. Like legitimately might pick up if they put out a vinyl for it ever. Like I'll pick that up. That'll be a good one.
100% right there with you. I have looked into it. I don't think they're selling one yet.
No, I'm sure this game will inevitably hit cult status in some bigger way.
I hope so.
But we'll see.
I think it deserves it. Did you have a particular favorite song?
No. So my relationship with music is weird. Let me pull up the list of songs. Because mostly I was just like, I'm vibing. Yeah. This is cool. Like, because it's on.
There is not a like soundtrack for it out yet, or at least not on like Apple Music or Spotify that you can find. There are playlists of the music. I will happily send you a playlist that I found that has most, if not all, of the music on there.
Please do.
And I have been bumping the fuck out of it.
Yeah, please do. I'm shocked they haven't put out an official one, because that's a super easy thing to do. Like
the licensing of it probably gets weird in terms of like,
putting it under their banner. Yeah.
Yeah, like the licensing probably gets weird when it comes to actually making the sound, like selling the soundtrack. So like, wouldn't surprise me if it actually didn't come out on vinyl. That being said, please.
Yeah. What's the Smashing Pumpkins song they use?
Love.
I vibed with that. Like, again, it's how you use it in the moment. And so in the moment, I was like, ooh, good song choice. Like, this one's cool.
My most bumped track was Most of All by BJ Thomas. The moment where she's floating backwards in black and white.
Yeah.
Oh boy, howdy. Give me a 1970s soft rock, Baroque pop kind of Beach Boys-y kind of thing. Ooh boy, howdy. Give it to me all day long. Never heard the song, never heard of BJ Thomas. That shit fucking shreds.
Yeah.
Roads by Portishead, also incredibly good. I have never been a Devo fan, but That's Good by Devo was on pretty consistent rotation. I mean, I was listening to this entire record. I had a couple of weddings around that time, and none of them were close that I was shooting, and so I was like driving a lot right around that time, and so like literally just on repeat to and from those weddings. Like, oh my god, it's so good. Galaxy in Turia by Alice Coltrane. So I was driving back from one of the weddings, and it was raining or just about to rain, and I saw one of the sharpest, brightest rainbows I've ever seen in my entire life. And it was I only saw it for the track length of Galaxy in Turia, which is a long track. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was so weird. And I was just like, is this happening? Like,
that's
it was
genuinely incredible. The serendipity of that's fantastic.
It was like a weirdly like important moment for me. Like, I was just like, oh man, the universe, bro.
Yeah. Like, we've all been there. I mean, we've all had that weird, like, oh, this song has changed me as a person because of where I was standing when it started playing.
No, that song in particular, but the entire soundtrack I think is incredible. And if it wasn't, this game would utterly fucking flop for me. Like, if it was just a bunch of garbage or a bunch of like rights-free music, or like or like original music that doesn't sound appropriate.
That's trying to emulate the 90s thing that Stacey's going for, but doesn't really do it correctly.
Yeah.
And it also helped that I've already been on like kind of a I'm writing something that takes place in the 90s that's very music forward, but it's like way grungier and way punk rockier.
Yeah.
So I've already been listening to a bunch of like 90s grunge punk rock music. So like this was a fun flip on that, where it's like there was some of that, but not all. And like it kind of played in that space in a fun way.
Did Freak by Silverchair or sorry. Yeah, Freak by Silverchair or Love by Smashing Pumpkins get added to that playlist?
I need to look up so that playlist has a very specific date cutoff.
Okay.
So I need to look up and make sure I can add it to that playlist.
Yeah.
It's like it's like summer 1996 is like July 1996 cannot exist past that date, or maybe June.
Both might fit there, but I couldn't.
And I can't. I just haven't looked it up yet. I can't remember, but. I have a very specific date cutoff thing for that.
That's fun. Love that.
I'm trying to get. It's the first time I've written something where I'm like, music is a big part of the movie itself. So I'm trying to listen to a lot of Toadies and Nirvana and Sonic Youth and a few other bands.
Toadies are the most underrated band from the 90s.
They rock. Yeah.
Rubberneck by Toadies is one of the best albums ever made, and that is a hill I'm not going to fight and die on that hill. I'll kill you on that hill.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That is my kind of go-to. Somebody else is in my car with me, and I can't just play one of my playlists because I don't know if they'll be whatever weird about my music. I just put on that record. I'm just like, boom.
It is impossible to go wrong.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, fuck you.
Yeah. Totally. I couldn't agree more.
Did you have a favorite like mini game or like mechanical game moment?
I mean, my favorite moment is the floating back, right? Like, now if you're talking like me, I really liked the exploding skating sequence.
The
like
skating
that
was fun. I did like the skating.
Like, but specifically where you could like trigger the bombs, where you like poof, and like blow up mailboxes and like like plastic ducks in people's
That's
yard,
when the
swans
Smashing
or whatever it
Pumpkins
was.
playing, right?
Yeah. So it's like that's I don't know. There's something fun and teenager about that. Yeah. And like, which of us hasn't been as a kid riding around on our bike, imagining some crazy scenario we're in?
Hey man, I drove around with a couple of friends, and we went what is it? Smashing mailboxes. We've done it. I've done it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I didn't actually do this. I didn't do the. This is a crazy story. I'm gonna tell it. Fuck it. So it was me, two of my other friends that I had a nickname for that I will not repeat, and another friend. She was there with us, and we were in their truck, in the two guys, one of their trucks, and we were driving through a neighborhood. They had a bat in their car, because of course they did. And they were like, fucking, let's go fucking hit some mailboxes. And we were like, fuck it, dude. And so it was the two guys were either driving or hitting the mailboxes. And me and Katie were in the back of the truck. And at one point, one of them hanging out the window hits one of the mailboxes. The mailbox was not hittable. I can't remember if it was like had fucking concrete in it or some shit, but like the swung bat hit him in the head, split his head open. We had to take him to the hospital. It was crazy. Yeah.
Also, we got him, boys. The walls fall down around you. It's all been a sting operation. Yeah, that's smashing. Yeah, dangerous thing to do.
Don't do it. It's so fucking stupid. I was just like, I didn't do it. But that being said, like, if we were gonna get in trouble, we were all going to get in trouble. Even if I didn't, even though I wasn't doing it. Yeah, I still was there.
Yeah.
So don't do
anyway,
it, kids. Yeah. To all the teenagers who are listening to this podcast with two, late 20s, early 30s fuckers talking about video games. To all the teenagers listening to this, don't do it. It's not worth it.
Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid. Don't do drugs unless they're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good game. I liked this game.
My favorite mechanical moments, I have 3. Emotionally, it's the BJ Thomas, most of all, where she's floating backwards. The funniest one is where he's drunk and going movie shopping. And you're like knocking off all the...
Yes.
So fucking funny. Everything that the guy at the front counter says is like, bro, like, man, not the standees. Don't knock down the standees. I was going to take that one home. And then my favorite like actual game was the rock skipping mini game. God damn, that was fun. Yeah. I played that. The first time I played it for like a couple minutes because Meg was there with me, and we were kind of like, she was watching me play it. The second time I played it for like 30 minutes. Yeah. I was trying to knock down I wanted to see if there was like an achievement to like knock down everything. Yeah. And there was just a few I just like couldn't get, and I was like, okay, I have to move on. I can't do this forever.
That's so fun.
But yeah. I like, that's the thing is like, even it is mechanically light, like some of the games are like genuinely like really fun just to like go back and fuck around with. The baseball mini game, it's like, again, it's not like whatever, it's not MLB The Show or whatever the fuck, but like it's pretty fun. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. Good game. Okay, B segment.
Yes.
So as I mentioned earlier in the episode, I didn't challenge Spencer, but I did ask Spencer to put together a playlist of some of the music. If he was to put together a mixtape of his high school experience, what would be on that mixtape? I did as well.
Yours is going to be much more specific, so maybe I should go first.
Yeah, if you'd like.
I spent all day yesterday attempting to remember the music I listened to in high school, and I failed miserably. So like I said, I think this is like a fascinating thing about like you and me, because I get a lot of my music recommendations from you. I get a lot of them from Breck. Occasionally I find them on the internet and I deep dive them. I really did not with any level of intention listen to music in high school. I had like Pandora with ads. You know what I mean? Like, so I did, however, pull up some of the ones I was really listening to. I listened to a lot of The National.
Yeah, dude.
Specifically, Boxer, I believe, is the album that I listen to a lot. I love The National. I really like them. I listened to, and then I kind of would go through my like rock phase. So it was a lot of classic rock. Like I listened to quite a bit of Kansas in high school. Ooh. Listened to quite a bit of Bryan Adams, funny enough, in high school. Yeah. Bon Jovi. Like I was that, my dad loves like 80s classic kind of rock stuff. So I grew up mostly on that. And then I listened to like Breaking Benjamin and Shinedown were really big bands. Kind of still are really big bands for me. Evanescence was a big one. Can't even lie about that. And then I think the songs that I was a high schooler when I watched How I Met Your Mother, and like it blew my hair back and changed my life. So the Shins' Simple song still is very emotional to me.
Shins fucking shreds, man.
Yeah. The Walkman Heaven is a really big song for me. And then the Atlantic Let Your Heart Hold Fast is a big song for me. So I think that's kind of like my thing. Like, again, I wasn't till like now, if I were to put one together, it'd be a lot of like Julian Baker and Ethel Cain.
Yeah.
And a couple bands like that. Like Slater is one Breck and I have been bumping a little bit recently, which you recommended to me and is very good. Yeah, so my relationship to music is just weird and different. Like I could go through and tell you the TV shows I was watching in high school or the movies I was watching in high school, and what I was really getting into. But like you asked me to do music, and I'm like, I listened to songs. Right? There was why am I forgetting? Buddy by Willie Nelson, right?
Yeah.
Like that became a pretty big song for me for a little bit, and still is in a lot of ways. I still love that song. Yeah,
it's one of my absolute favorite songs.
Having completely failed to put together an actual thing for you, there is a spattering of the stuff I was listening to. I think The National was my I listened to a little bit of Wilco. I still really like Wilco.
Love Wilco.
But like The National was my like, none of my family listens to this music at all, right? This is my indie kind of venture.
I didn't recommend Wilco to you, did I?
You did recommend Wilco to me, I think. Yeah.
I was like, I think I have a memory of me doing that, but my memory sucks.
Yeah, because I think I told you I really liked The National, and you were like, you should listen to Wilco. They're not the same, but they're kind of in that same flavor.
Yeah.
And so I listened to a little bit of Wilco and liked it.
Yeah, man.
And I liked it. And I'm not afraid to say it. Anyway, so that's my failed attempt at making a mixtape.
As I said, I was that insufferable hipster dude. So all of my music is exactly that. So I'm going to go down the list, and if there's a relevant story, I will tell it. Otherwise, I will just tell you some of these. So I was pretty early on the Spotify train. I started using Spotify in like 2013 or 2014, and so fuck Spotify. Let me start there. Yeah. Fuck Spotify.
Watch Drew Gooden's video on Spotify.
Yep. Yes. Yep. The thing that benefited me from my use of Spotify is I have all of my data from my Spotify listening all the way back to then. I graduated in 2014. I'm an old man now. Graduated in 2014, so I can see some of the music that I was listening to at that time, and I can see my top listened to songs of that year. Here, I added some songs from throughout my high school experience that weren't represented there, but I'm going to go through the list. I added Dark Tower by the band Miniature Tigers. That band, man, I fucking love Miniature Tigers. I felt like they were like, right. I felt like there was a point where they were right on the precipice of like actually kind of breaking into something akin to the mainstream. They had a song on Easy A, that movie, on that soundtrack. And I think even the lead singer was dating Mae Whitman at one point. Like, I went and saw them multiple times. I absolutely adore that band with every fiber of my being. Dark Tower is a particular favorite song of mine. Portugal the Man, All Your Light is the song I added. Portugal the Man has had their moment, their popularity moment. That being said, I don't love them anymore because they got popular and then they were super shitty about their old fans. Because a lot of their old fans, i.e. me and people like me, were a little felt cold by some of their newer music because it felt very inauthentic to what their original sound was. Like they had written 8 records at this point, and they all had kind of a similar vibe. And then in like 2013 or 14 or 15, somewhere in there, the music changed and it got way poppier and it got way more radio friendly, we'll call it that. And then they started to get some radio play, and then they had one huge hit a couple years ago, and they put a meme on their Instagram about like all of our old shitty fans being annoyed about our new music or some shit like that. And I was just like, man, fuck you. Like, fuck you. So if you want to listen to the stuff that I was listening to, All Your Light by Portugal the Man, or AKA M80 the Wolf off of, I think, their first or second record, boy howdy, the summer before my freshman year, that is all I listened to was that song. Alive with the Glory of Love by the band Say Anything. Kind of pop punky, fucking shreds. Radiohead, or Nude by Radiohead off of In Rainbows. In Rainbows is one of my favorite albums of all time, and Nude, at one point I would have told you that Nude was my favorite song of all time. I had that record in particular means like so much to me, and like that I listened to nothing but that for a really long time. Rebellion by Arcade Fire. It's Arcade Fire. I was a hipster. What else is there to say? Also, In the Aeroplane Over the Sea by Neutral Milk Hotel. Again, like I was playing the hipster hits, baby.
Yeah, what a name for a band. Also, Neutral Milk Hotel is fantastic.
No, okay, here's the actual underground shit I want to put you onto. Jeff Mangum, the singer of Neutral Milk Hotel, put out a live record. I can't remember what it's called, but that record is also incredibly good. I think that might be his only solo record.
Live at Jittery Joe's.
Thank you. It is so fucking good. Go listen to that shit. The recording is like kind of shit, but the set list is great and the music is incredible. I can't recommend that enough. Breeze Blocks by Alt J. Man, again, Alt J, I was like, man, they're gonna be fucking huge, and they came so close to it, and then they just never really found like a super wide appeal. But that one in particular is incredibly good. Meet Me in the City by the Black Keys. I had a huge The Black Keys phase. Brothers, I think, was their big hit record. Listen to that constantly. But Meet Me in the City is off of, I can't remember what the record is called. It's off of a record where they're playing, I can't even remember the fucking artist. They are doing covers of a really famous blues artist. And Meet Me in the City is just an incredible track. Like it is absolutely gorgeous. Nakamura by Hiatus Coyote. It's like kind of like a neo soul jazzy kind of fusion track, featuring Q-Tip. Good fucking shit. If neo soul kind of vibe is your vibe, Hiatus Coyote is the shit. I Am White. So Chance the Rapper was important to me at that time. Cocoa Butter Kisses by Chance the Rapper. Man, dude, that record, fucking Acid Rap, that record is so fucking good. That record's so fucking good. It's really, man, he had like several bangers in a row, and then he got really weird about his wife and about God, and his music got way bad. And then I'm pretty sure has since gotten divorced, and I heard his newest record is quite good, actually. It's like a little bit of a return to form, so shout out. Okay, Grizzly Bear. We're going to stop on Grizzly Bear for a moment. Grizzly Bear, again, is just like one of those artists that is so important to me. So, 2 of the members of Grizzly Bear actually did the score for shit, what the fuck is it called? The A24 movie, with the, Korean couple who like she goes to America.
Past Lives.
Past Lives. Thank you. I wanted to say After Yang, and I was like a billion miles away. Past Lives. almost the same amount of letters. That was the most autistic shit I've ever done.
You're like, yeah, I literally saw the equation descend.
It's like that fucking moment from I need to stop trying to reference things. So yeah, they did the score for Past Lives, one of my favorite scores of all time, because those motherfuckers did it. And I was in the theater and I'm like, I know this band. I know who did this. I don't know who it is, but I know who did this. This sounds so familiar. And then it was Daniel Rossum, and I can't remember the other artist's name. Incredibly good. Sleeping Ute by Grizzly Bear is the song I added to the playlist, because that one might be my favorite, might not. We'll find out. Hey Mommy by Sylvan Esso. So Sylvan Esso is a producer and a singer. She was in a band called Mountain Men, I believe. They were like a folk trio, and I'm pretty sure they were sisters. And then I don't know how they met each other or how it happened, but then she got connected with a like hip hop producer or like electronic producer, and then they created the band Sylvan Esso, and it is incredibly weird, and not incredibly weird, but it is incredibly good and incredibly cool. Especially like knowing her history as like a folk singer. Incredibly cool. 17 by Lake Street Dive. Lake Street Dive is such an incredible like jazz, Baroque pop might not be the best, jazz inspired, pop inspired, rock inspired bands ever. So if you like a good stand up bass and an incredible singer, oh my god, Rachel is her first name. I can't remember her last name. An incredible voice, an absolutely incredible voice. Far Away by Jose Gonzalez. So if you've played Red Dead Redemption, the original, when he's going to Mexico for the first time, a song starts playing as you're like weaving your way through the mountains and like crossing the Rio Grande, which I don't think it's called the Rio Grande in the game. Far Away by Jose Gonzalez starts playing, which, oh my god, what a fucking great needle drop. Like such a great needle drop moment. Like both Red Dead Redemptions have a couple of incredible needle drops in them. Red Dead Redemption 2 has a crazy one with freaking D'Angelo out of fucking nowhere. And I'm just like, fucking D'Angelo. Huge D'Angelo fan. Rest in peace. Like genuinely rest in peace, King. Oh my god. Like we lost an absolute icon and one of the best musicians ever. Robbers by Cold War Kids. I was obsessed with Cold War Kids. Go listen to that one. Okay. Shaky Graves. Huge Shaky Graves fan. I have Late July. I have the Audio Tree live version, but that's because the original version that I listened to and was obsessed with was Live in Lubbock, was the one that I was obsessed with. That is not available for streaming. It is only on YouTube. But I downloaded that motherfucker and put it on my goddamn iPod and listened to it constantly. So go seek that one out. Specifically, the Live in Lubbock one is my favorite rendition of that song. I think he did a KEXP Late July that is also incredibly good. There's another one I'm failing to remember that I also really liked of Late July. I don't think he's ever actually recorded it. I think the only versions, there's either demos or there's live versions. I don't think he's ever recorded that song, which I think is incredibly cool because in some ways is kind of his most famous song. Love it. Probably not his most famous. His Dearly Departed is definitely his most famous. When I was going through the list of my Spotify most listened to, I found Hum by Adult Jazz, and I completely fucking forgot about this song. I started listening to it and I was like, oh my god. It is this slow, spacey, atmospheric, like it is almost entirely like vocals for the first like half of the song and like really subtle, like kind of stringy synthy pads below it. It is incredibly cool, very cinematic, very like spacey and atmospheric. Can't recommend it enough. Snake Eyes by the Milk Carton Kids is like not even remotely close to their most famous song, and it is my absolute favorite. It is if you're into folk at all, they're an incredible folk duo. Very like, I'm sure they get this comparison all the time, and I don't know if they love it or not. Very Simon and Garfunkel. So if that's your vibe and you like folk, go check out Milk Carton Kids. Power by Tune Yards. Tune Yards is the coolest fucking band ever. They have done, I don't know if they've done all of the scores for Boots Riley's movies, but they've definitely did I Love Boosters, and they did what's the with Lakeith Stanfield, the Boots Riley movie.
Sorry to bother you.
Sorry to bother you. Thank you. I wanted to say anything for some reason. Sorry to bother you. They did the score for both of those movies. They're incredibly cool, incredibly weird. The lead singer has the most fascinating voice ever, and I absolutely love it. Two more. So Many Details by Tori et Moi. Again, I was a hipster. Tori et Moi. Very like electronic indie, electronic indie. What else was there to say? A bit of a kind of a funky-ish, soul-y-ish, R&B-ish kind of vibe to it, but incredibly good. Again, that was the one that I really thought that Tori Ma would have like a moment, and then he just kind of didn't, but go listen to it. And then last, man, so I graduated in 2014, and I believe this record came out in either 2013 or 2014, and what a gift for my specific generation, because Pure Heroin by Lorde is just one of the best records ever about being a teenager. Specifically, the song Ribs is the one I added to the playlist. And man, like when we're talking about like being nostalgic for your high school experience while going through it, like while being a high schooler, boy, howdy, that shit just hits so fucking different. That I absolutely love Lorde, especially this record. Like I just think it's like one of the best records of that era, especially when we're talking about like pop or like, singer-songwriters or like, holy shit, incredible shit. So yeah, that's my very long, I think it's 22 songs long. I will probably, we'll put a link to this in the show notes if you're interested at all in listening to my very hipster ass taste in 2014. I will stand by every single one of these fucking tracks they all goddamn shred. And if you don't agree with me, I'll fight you.
He will. I've seen him do it.
Recommendations.
I have non-music recommendations. I just gave you a slew of stuff that I like. But my recommendations are two movies in theaters right now that are both about friendship and saying goodbye to friends and making friends. They are Toy Story 5.
Yep.
Which surprisingly quite good. I got teary-eyed at least 3 times. I was very against Toy Story 5. Thought it was a dumb idea for a movie. Wanted that to stop. And it ended up being good, and I liked it, so go see that movie.
They keep doing that. We all said that when Toy Story 3 came out. We all said it when Toy Story 4 came out. We all said it when Toy Story 5 came out.
I'm a guy who doesn't like Toy Story 4, so I was right about that one.
I haven't even watched it yet. So
I don't like Toy Story 4. Toy Story 5 is better than Toy Story 4 to me. That's my hot take. I don't know if that's a hot take, actually. I don't think it is. The other one I want to recommend is Jackass Best and Last.
Yeah.
There is something weirdly endearing about the Jackass guys in a like, this is kind of the purest form of friendship where you can be this kind of like maniac shit to one another and still also just be totally fine. Right? Yeah. Like there is something primal about it, but this one is a bit emotional. There's a couple scenes where I actually got a little weirdly choked up at these guys saying goodbye to this thing they've done since they were in their 20s. And it opens with one of the craziest stunts I've ever seen in my life. It literally, they recorded it, but MTV would not let them air it. They're like, "This, you can't do this. You can't." And they open it with that, and it's genuinely insane. Jackass Best and Last is quite fun. Anyway, those are my 2 recommendations. Those are the 2 things I've been. The other thing is A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the book. I finished it. It's great. You should read those 3 novellas. They're breezy reads. They're great. They're awesome.
Yeah, dude. So good.
Yeah, those are my recommendations.
The first one and the third one are my favorites.
Yes.
The second one's good. The other 2
The second one's good and has really high highs, but also a few low lows. But the first 2 are great. Yeah.
Yeah. My recommendation, I'm going to go with another video game. I started playing it again last night. 20 2016 God of War.
Oh,
So fucking good. So
Have you played Ragnarok yet?
I have not. That is
So
why
is this your, like,
that's
lead-
why I'm
yeah.
replaying 2016 because I want to replay Ragnarok because I want to play Valhalla.
Yeah, Valhalla looks awesome.
If you
Valhalla is awesome. The Freya one that they're making looks awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Say that again.
So they made God of War, they made God of War Ragnarok, and then a free DLC they put out was God of War Valhalla, which was a like, I don't know how to explain it. You essentially venture into Valhalla, and every time you die, you have to start over. They're making a Freya one in the afterlife, where you play as Freya,
And it is
in the
called
afterlife.
Valhalla, right? Or am I crazy?
I don't think it's called. Let me. look it up.
Oh no, it's called. I don't know what it's called. Laufe?
Something like that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that's my bad. If you are not so fucking excited about
Laufe,
that game,
yeah.
if you are not so fucking excited about that game, you are a sexist piece of shit.
Yeah, you're an incel.
Oh my god, that shit looks fucking dope as hell.
Yeah.
You are just a fucking
Loser.
You're a loser. You're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Grow up. Like, grow the fuck up. That game looks like it's gonna fucking shred. Oh, but I just want to play as Kratos. Okay, they're making more games with Kratos.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, this looks fucking rad. It looks like an awesome game.
Dog. Like, if you care at all about the story of any of the this new batch, this new storyline, playing as Freya is so fucking cool. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Agreed.
So I'm replaying the first game right now. I played literally, so as we're recording this for the 4th of July was last night. So I was playing it really loud on the TV in the living room so the dog couldn't hear fireworks and shit. Good game to pick. Genuinely good game to pick. And I played it literally until like 2 a.m. last night. Fucking that game is so goddamn good. It's so fun. It's tough it's tough but fair. I'm not playing it on give me God of War. I'm playing it on the give me a challenge or whatever the next highest one is. Game's fucking tough. And it is so fun and so gorgeous and so well written, and I absolutely love it. The pacing's a little weird occasionally, but can't recommend it enough. If you haven't played it, go play it. And if you haven't played Mixtape, go fucking play it, man. It's $20. I think it's on a sale right now too if you buy it on Steam. If only to go listen to this fucking music, man. Good shit.
Yeah.
Go watch Jackass. Go watch Toy Story 5. Go listen to all of the music that me and Spencer recommended, or don't. I don't know, man. Live your life.